Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the live show. It is Monday evening. I hope everybody had a great day. The market was red except for Google. It was a popping one there today, obviously, with the Berkshire Hathaway news and the Qs. If you stuck around for the day, they went red. It did exactly what we said it was going to do there, Joseph Levy. You're not early. I popped on just as you did, Joseph Levy, same time. So there we are. And I hope everybody did have a good day. And let's get through the market and see what's going on. All information presented here is for educational and informational purpose only, not intended as financial advice. Always do your due diligence. How is everybody? Here we go. Let's look at the heat map right there. It is red. There's your Google. Tesla was up a little bit. It was popping up first thing this morning, and then it did pull back a little bit. As you can see right here, it did jump up, spiked up at noon, came down. Your SPY and your Qs, they jumped up. Well, first thing in the morning, they dipped down in the very beginning right here. They came in, they dipped, then ran up, and then they came down. And around noontime, they were up at the top, and then boom, they came crashing down. That was your SPY right there. And your Qs, they came down first thing, ran up, got moving, around noontime popped up, and then boom, went crashing down there. So interesting day. It was all over the place, jumping around, and finally came back down to where we wanted it to do. And it got down to what, 600 or something, 599.87 right there, under 6. So there you go. I would say the game plan, it pulled out for us there at the end there, Joseph Levy. So there you are, and here we are, and here is everybody else. So I hope everybody's here hanging out. Let's get cruising. We'll go through the show. Not a whole lot happening, I'm not going to lie, but we will go through and see what's going on here. Let's look and see what the market says. Stock sell off deepens ahead of Nvidia jobs data. Yeah, tomorrow could be brutal. And then we'll see what NVIDIA is going to do on Wednesday. I think it's all eyes on NVIDIA. They've held up the market before. I think Google held up the market in the beginning, and it just couldn't keep it on its shoulders any longer. And it did fall down. The stock futures a little changed after tech slump weighs on markets. Fed's Waller backs December cut with jobs market near stall speed. And trading day markets twitch, volatility stirs. I don't know what it's saying. S&P 500, NASDAQ book their worst day in a month. More selling could be on the way right there. Hopefully it cools down more tomorrow, or comes down more tomorrow. Joseph Levy put some more puts on there. So there you go. And I'll tell you what, look at this poly market with no change, went straight through that 20.25 decrease right there. And that's kind of crazy. I really thought they were going to bounce off each other. And boy, did I have that one wrong there. So that one just went right through it like it wasn't even there. And I guess they are talking no change. I think that's kind of crazy right now, to be honest with you, but we'll see what happens. And I guess when's the economic reports come out? How are you, Janica? How are you this evening? And I'm not sure when the actual things start coming out. Obviously, the shutdown's over, so we can start seeing some Fed results or whatever, some data, and see what's going on with that and how it reacts. But here we go. We'll see what's happening with the market and how it wants to react for tomorrow. So let's go through it and see what we have on our hands right here. ONDS up early, and this thing absolutely destroyed Ben today. I mean, it looked great today going in. It was up, and then all of a sudden it just came down. And it didn't look so pretty after it opened up right there. That's for sure. I don't know what was going on with it because it did look really good on the chart as well. It was right between, it was getting through to 50 and then just came straight down. So it stopped down right there. And that was ONDS. I mean, it did pop up to the last week, but it did look really good and then just got crushed today. I don't know what was going on. And Laptop Travel, he's very bearish. And yeah, I think we all are right here, I would have to say. But definitely now to remember, I said we'll stick to our guns, and I think the market's coming down. It didn't look good to me, that's for sure. You guys know I said that, and yeah, that was employment report is Thursday morning, and that is what's going on here. We'll look at them Qs and the UVXY and all that good stuff. And yeah, Ben did destroy Ben. Yeah, he likes abusing himself. You're not even kidding. Even after he said, I'm not going to do it, he still jumped into it and then it killed him. Yeah, I agree 100%, Joseph Levy. Sometimes he just gets a little too crazy on the trading. I think less would be more for Ben sometimes, but he does Ben and he obviously does really well. But today, ONDS, not so good, was a misunderstanding by traders over a perceived dilution, and it should recover. I think so too. And like I said, it didn't look too bad on the chart to me, and it did. It did definitely pull back. Exactly. Ben doesn't follow his own earlier predictions. You're not kidding. I seem to do the same thing sometimes myself. I don't know why we basically call the markets perfectly and then don't even follow it. We tell you guys what to do every time, and then we don't follow what we do. You know what it is? It's just information overload. We go through so much info, I think, and it is what it is. But anyway, yeah, we gotta start following Ben's morning note because he's been dead on, and we'll pay attention to that. I already do. I look at it for the most part each morning, and everything else going on in the Discord, so you can check that out. But we were on this morning and had things going on there, and odds of a major correction, 10% plus, are rising, and there you are. So I'm not sure to minus fit. I'm not even sure what that says, laptop travel. But anyway, let's go through and see what's going on. And we do have a Monday Night Football game on. The Cowboys and the Raiders are on, and that is starting really soon here. So let's go cruising through. You guys can check out the Monday night game, see what's going on with that. I don't even know what the heck I'm typing in here, guys. Let me get back to open and see what that was doing. It was pulling back today. It looks like it's dipping down with everything else. And you can assume most things are going to be a little bit red, but there are a couple of decent ones that we will go through. QMCO did pull back here. I mean, they looked pretty good this morning and going into today. But again, that is that's why on Sunday nights you can't exactly tell what's going to happen. On Monday, RGTI right here pulling back a little bit, and QUBT, that one was kind of up a little bit, but it was bouncing around all over. I don't think it's going to cross through the MACD. I think it'll come back down right there. Your QTUM, your Defiance was pulling back. QSI, hold on, let me get to that. That was down as well. It has that interesting look down at the bottom, but I'm not so sure about it. IONQ trying to run up there. We'll have to keep an eye on that one. And let's look at that IONZ. It's the opposite of it. And Nick is pulling back a little bit. We can keep an eye and see if IONQ wants to run. Our cat right here, a little bit of pullback down there. And your Z space. Didn't this like have earnings coming up? And it's already down 8 cents right there. It did just have its earnings. And that was last week. And look at that thing already dipping down. It started to look halfway decent. Couldn't even hold itself up for like one trading day. So that is what your quantum and computer hardware ones look like on this Monday evening. After that Monday market was crazy. UNH right here, United Health. And that was pulling back as well. Oscar right here, that was up a little bit, but it is just trying to bounce off of that trend line down there, that support line. But not so sure it's getting through the resistance right there. So you can keep an eye for possibly a little more run up on it, but nothing too crazy, I don't think. And ABTC, not at the moment anyway. And ABTC, look at this thing trying to curl up all of a sudden. Like, how is this thing trying to run up here? ABTC, American Bitcoin Corp. I saw this today and I'm like, what do they have up their sleeve right now? Something looks goofy right there with crypto price plunging. What Eric Trump and Michael Sayer and others are saying, I'm not sure what they're saying, to be completely honest with you. But that chart does look a little weird to me, like it could get moving. We'll see tomorrow, but we'll be keeping an eye on that. Pew is dipping down right there. And NCPL, it did. And again, that ABTC did grab my attention today. I was like, what is going on here today? So everything else pulling back crypto, and all of a sudden that thing's setting up, and that's the crypto company for Trump family. So just keep your eyes open on that. I'll be watching it, you know that. And NCPL right here pulling back as well. And PSQH just pulling back. And there's Ben right there driving. And he's got the major question now that the Q's closed below the 50 today for the first time stick a fork in it, or will it hold up and be dependent on NVIDIA ER? Ben, I already think it's going to be dependent on that NVIDIA ER right there, to be completely honest with you. I do think tomorrow we're sticking a fork in it. I think it's going to be dipping down even more there tomorrow after it closed under the 50. I don't think it has to come down to the 200. I know it's obviously a major support line down there, and not many things in between. There's a couple, but I think the NVIDIA earnings are going to be what it really bases on. Clearly, if NVIDIA misses, there's nothing else holding up this market, and then you're going to see it hit that 200. But if NVIDIA somehow does something extraordinary and the market wants to pop up, I think the Qs could bounce off of that. We've seen it happen where NVIDIA's held up the entire market before, and again, that's like the main main AI stock, obviously, and the big one. So I do think it could pull up the market, and we'll see, obviously, on Wednesday. When is that? After the market, probably. So have a safe drive there, Ben, and we'll be on tomorrow morning. And Laptop Travel said, Ben, we're headed for 540 is what Laptop Travel said. So yeah, what I don't think is, I don't think that NVIDIA could have a great earnings right here based on what the stock chart looks like and what's been going on with NVIDIA. They've been kind of losing out right now, I guess, to who the heck is it? I'm trying to think what that one company, AMD, right there. And they've been kind of losing out to them. I mean, the chart, it looks like it's in a bullish state with NVIDIA. It is over the 50 today. But again, we definitely have earnings coming up Wednesday. Tomorrow is going to dictate, I think, and tell us kind of a good idea. Maybe they just keep it right between the 50 and that trend line right there at like 189, right exactly where it's at, and basically see what happens on the earnings. But it looks like it's pulling back to me. I'm not going to lie. And I think it could make the market pull back. And even if it does pull it all the way back, Ben, I think it'll be a quick correction like you had posted before. That's what I was saying. So I'm not ruling out that 540 like Laptop Travel said, but I do think it's hinging on NVIDIA. I don't think you're going to see a major crash tomorrow. I think it's waiting for Wednesday or Thursday. So we're going to be staying tuned. I do think it's dipping down there tomorrow, though. And the puts worked out pretty well. It was a crazy ride there today, I'll tell you that. But finally, they got under the 605s and all that area and touched under 600. So it worked out well. And everybody was like, holy cow, I can't believe that just actually worked out, because that was kind of that was a roller coaster, Joseph Levy. I know you had messaged me and said, holy cow, this is crazy. I can't believe it's really going to get down there today. And it did. So it was a beauty holding on. And listen, and Ben, we got to just stick to what we say. And we were just saying that, obviously. But yeah, we have to stick to what we say all the time. I mean, you call the market so great in your morning note. It's actually mind-boggling. And obviously, I go through this show and just call out on stock charts and just ramble on. Don't even know what the hell I even say half the time. I just, like I say, it's just like an energy that comes out and somehow just tell you exactly what these charts do. And then somehow, I mean, I did play these ones right, but somehow I always go and look at the market and do the complete opposite of what I just said. And everybody else seems to do great. And I'm like, what the hell just happened? I just told everybody what was going to happen. And then I'm looking at all these other charts and like getting caught up. So yeah, I have to just stick to what I started saying. And honestly, you might be driving, so you can't see. Now I keep my different notes on this different page now, and it's been a lot better. Obviously, I think the market's been kind of one of these markets right now where you got to look at it that day. It's like a daily market right now. It's so volatile and crazy, and that's why in the Discord we've been destroying it, honestly, calling it every which way. Your morning notes and your calls are just absolutely incredible. And I mean, you now like every one of them. It's crazy, Ben. It honestly is crazy. And then we can sit there with Rhett and call the Qs up and down and all kinds of crazy stuff. It's wild what we do in there. And yeah, and I just base it all off the stock charts. You guys know that. But you could see it was pulling back. And yeah, it doesn't look healthy. I'm gonna tell you that. NVIDIA could prop it up on Wednesday, but I don't really have much faith in it, but I say it could happen. So that is my overview on that. And great question, Ben. Thanks for tuning in and hanging out there. And you guys know we'll be on in the Discord in the morning. Ben will be on around 9 a.m. He starts doing the morning show, and I hop on just as we get into the Discord there around 9:15, and we get into the picks and everything else. So tune in and have fun with us. I mean, Friday was like a comedy hour. It was crazy in there. We were cracking up, and then today, look what that happened, guys. We were dying laughing about the cues, and then they ended up paying out and working out over the weekend and today at the very last like hour. So they somehow got into the money there. So what do you know? It worked out our game plan. It was a crazy game plan there. And Ben, LNDS definitely didn't do what we thought it was going to do this morning. I could tell you that right now. So appreciate you hanging out there. And here we go, everybody. So if you don't follow the story trading account, be sure to follow it. And also, they have the secondary story trading account, and it's for like the company news and everything else. And as a matter of fact, I just got word that I am going to be interviewing the FGNX tomorrow. Ben, I was going to tell you that in the morning, but since you're there, I'll just mention it now. So at 4:30 tomorrow afternoon, I'm going to talk to Maya and FGNX and see what's going on, how they feel about Ethereum and everything right now as crypto's pulling back. So that'll be an interesting one. We're just going to do an X Spaces and we'll discuss that and talk about FGNX. So keep you guys posted throughout the day on that one. And here we go, Cowboys Raiders on. Like I said, I'll keep you posted on that this evening, and let's keep on cruising through. Appreciate Ben. Good question right there. And good breakdown. So yeah, I don't think it looks pretty for tomorrow. That is for sure. So we might be shorting it down first thing in the morning, Ben. I don't know what you have in mind, what you're looking at already. You're probably already got like a million things going on, and I'll look at the morning notes, see what you have on your agenda, but I would have to assume some of the cues getting shorted down might be one of them. So how are you, Deep Soul Diving? And yeah, there you go. I know FGNX. I mean, where's the bottom for crypto right now, to be completely honest with you? And I think Bitcoin obviously coming back down. Look at that thing. As long as Bitcoin, let's just go through a couple more because we're hitting all these anyway. So let's just go through these and then we'll look at crypto. There's Michael Anthony this evening. Everybody's on this evening. Deep Soul Diving, Michael Anthony, Ben's hanging out. Everybody hanging out this evening. It's going to be a fun one. And we even have a Monday night game on. It's 0-0. The Cowboys and Raiders. And 14:50 last. So the game just started in the first quarter. So there you go. I'll keep you guys updated on that one. And let's go through these bad boys, see what's going on with crypto, everything else, and then we'll see what's going to be popping for tomorrow. Gold definitely wasn't popping today, but there's FGNX looking pretty getting into the basement area right there. And like I said, none of these wanted to. And Ben, if you're still on, you got to check out this American Bitcoin Corp. This is the Trump family company, Bitcoin company. I don't know what the heck they have going on, but something's up right there. Not when Bitcoin and everything else looks bad, and this looks like this. I was going to mention it today in the afternoon. This thing looks kind of crazy to me right now. So we'll be watching that one for sure tomorrow. You got to believe that. And let's look at that BMNR right here because these things are all pulling back and they can't wait for Ethereum and crypto to get ripping as well. And look at SBET down here, still pulling back. UPXI not looking so bad as Solana's at 131 right now, according to the stock cube. Ripple's at what, 215? Ethereum's 3,032. Ripple might have went up a couple dollars right there. Bitcoin at 91,796. So that is pretty low. And Cardano is at 46. We'll go and look at them in 1 second. ORBS, another one. This one's been trying to set up forever. Look at it. It's trying to crawl up. It wants to go up, but I'm not so sure. Unless crypto is getting set up right now, I have no idea. It doesn't look like it. And we're about to go through it. So I didn't see any indications earlier, let's put it that way, that it was really ready to go. So let's go ahead and take a look at it because we just looked at our FGNX, and like we said, it's pulling back. And I should be talking to Maya tomorrow, the CEO of FGNX, and we'll go over and see how they feel about Ethereum pulling back because that's why this is pulling back right now. I'm going to be honest with you. You can see it on the chart. And let's see with Bitcoin right here because them things wanted to run and they just can't with crypto. I mean, they're based on crypto, let's face it. So Bitcoin down here at 92. And when you look at it, look at this thing. I mean, there's not much holding it up. The 20's coming down. I don't think it's coming down to 75, but it already came down past your 94, which was a pretty good area right there. And your next stop is like in your 84s, 88 area. You could get around here and get held up. But yeah, I mean, I would have to assume you might see 88,000 relatively soon, the way it's looking, and get into the basement, unless this thing is trying to turn around and these guys know something. And that's why I'm saying let's keep our eye on that ABTC, because maybe it's trying to tell us something right here, because obviously they would know. But according to the chart, it doesn't look amazing. But we know the snap of a tweet and the thing can get cruising really, really fast. So I'm just letting you know something's going on here. That's for sure. Crypto's pulling back and ABTC setting up for some crazy reason there. So we're going to be watching this thing, and I do think it's going to be pulling back. Ethereum right here looks like it's getting down to that bottom, but it does look like it has a little more pullback in it. Here's your Solana getting down there as well. Look at that thing. It's trying to get into the basement, trying to stay out, but I don't know if it's going to. And your Ripple's pulling back, and it went right through the MACD right there, and it just came right down. So that's not holding itself up. And the rest are following suit right here, because they usually do. There's Doge. Cardano's been pulling back right there. That's getting in the basement. Stellar also going to be down in the basement relatively soon. Here is your Chainlink, and that's pulling back. And there's your Optimism. It isn't so optimistic right now, as it's facing its way down and going back down to the bottom. So not looking pretty for crypto, I can tell you that right now. And that is what Bitcoin and them look like. And again, these other ones that are these crypto treasuries, they kind of rely on crypto. I mean, that's their entire their plan. So if crypto's not ripping for them or going up, then they're kind of in trouble. I did have REMX on there, and I had it on the night note, guys, and this thing went up over 2.5%. Was a beauty today. This was running up really nice right there. What did it get up to? Like 74. It opened at 72 right there. Yeah, it was running up. That looked really good right there. REMX. And let's see what else is going on over here. So that is what was going on with crypto and your crypto treasury ones and all them guys. Let's look at a couple small caps right here. WTO. We had this on the list like all of last week. It was trying to jump up there Friday. It was bouncing around today. Has a little curl up look. We can take a look at it tomorrow morning. I just threw it on the list. It's I mean, there's not a whole lot to look at the moment. There's always some opportunities, obviously, but this thing's coming up here. I'm not so sure. They might have a reverse split coming up. Did they now? Oh, they just announced November 12th. I didn't even look down there. All right, then we're gonna wait for that reverse split. Glad it set it over there. All right, we'll keep this on the list for that reverse split, because that'll be a good one. And when was it supposed to be? Right here, about on the 21st. So it's coming up. I'll cross that out for tonight, and I'll definitely keep that on the list for the reverse split right there. APLT, Applied Therapeutics, right here. And this was trying to run up a little bit today, trying to get out of the basement. Doesn't look amazing, but it was saying it ran up in the after hours. I mainly put it on here for laptop travel and your 4 a.m. crew and the 4 a.m. warriors right here. See if this guy wants to run any in the morning right there, APLT. So you can keep an eye on that one. It could have a little bit of momentum for you guys. And the CHR right here, Cheer Holding or whatever, we looked at it last week. It's been bouncing around. I'm not sure if they have a reverse split coming up either. I don't think so, because they had it offering, but let's keep an eye on it. It just was curling up a little bit today there. And again, just throwing a couple penny stocks on there if you guys are interested. It didn't look too bad for CHR. And let's take a look and see what Nix is doing. It was pulling back today, I know that. And it does look like it bottomed out on Friday right there. So possibly get turned back around here for NIXX. And we'll see what this is up to. As you can see, it doesn't look bad to try to get turned around. Let's put it that way. So we'll be keeping an eye on that one as well, as we've been watching it. And this LITM did pull back today, and it was down there like 15%. And we're just letting this thing pull back as low as it wants to go. and then we'll see what it's up to. And Tech was pulling back a little bit. Still doesn't look bad, though. It almost looks like it bottomed out there Friday and could be trying to get set up. So possibly a little setup there for Tech Progressive G. I know you like that one, and we'll keep an eye on that. And TONX right here. I don't know. I think the quiet period should be up relatively soon. They better start talking or doing something because this thing's not looking beautiful now. And obviously, it should have been popping already. So TONX, and it did jump up a little bit, but it can't really get through this 20. It should be getting up here into that 530 areas where it should be running up to, and it's just not doing it. And DLXY right here. Let's take a look at this one and see how it's pulling back right there. It's going to hit that 20. This is another penny stock right there. It's been trying to get set up. You can see it had a nice big dip, trying to get set up in that channel and see if it gets bouncing off of that 20 right there. So keep an eye on that tomorrow. I was watching it today, just bounce around a little bit. Nothing too crazy right there. And let's see what the rest of this list looks like. IVF. And this guy right here is not looking bad. Look at this thing trying to get set up. So we've been watching it for a little while since it played us wrong on this little pop up that one day and then pull back here. We've been watching it. So maybe we'll catch the nice pop on IVF right there. And let's see what else is going on with our Gush and Boyle. They were both down today. I was actually a little surprised to see them both pulling back. Oil and gas right there pulling back, and then your Boyle right here is your natural gas, and that was pulling back. So both of them pulling back. I was kind of surprised to see them both pulling back right there. See how they open up tomorrow and react. And here is our LLY Eli Lilly. And again, I think this one, you might be able to put puts on this thing, guys, and bring it down. It looks like it's totally topped out there and looks like it's ready to start curling down. So maybe that's an opportunity right there for LLY to take it downward. We didn't ride it up while we were trying to figure out that its name was Eli Lilly, and it took me like a couple hours to figure that out. But we did watch it just cruise over the last few days and go wild. So it looks like it's going to be pulling back here. Keep your eye on that. And good old Hertz was pulling back. They're in reverse right now, and they could be coming back to the trend line down here. So Hertz pulling back at the moment. Not looking beautiful. It is going to hit the MACD right there. We'll see what it wants to do after it hits that. And then your Chipotle right here was pulling back and going back into the basement. It was trying to get out of there and then immediately just decided to go back down. So Chipotle not looking beautiful, but we did have IMRX on our list from last night, and that thing was looking good. And like I said, these guys are trying to cure like cancer, like whatever kind of cancer, I forget, pancreatic cancer or whatever. I believe that's what it is. And that thing does look really good right there. So keep an eye on IMRX. But yeah, not a whole lot of beauties right there. And your REMX, this one was running up a little. We were already talking about it. Is looking pretty good right there. This other one we were talking about last night ran up pretty well, CGTL. And look at this bad boy, it was popped up there. So that one was a nice one. Creative Global Technologies, and look at that popped up. So we gave you that one last night. Not looking bad right there. And Cracker Barrel, I'm telling you, is getting into really crazy territory down here, and they're gonna be in real trouble soon. I'm telling you that. Not that they're not already. I mean, look at this thing. It went from 71 to 27, like it was no big deal. And now you're seeing things really pull back. So imagine what Cracker Barrel is going to do when the market starts pulling back, guys. It could be in some serious trouble, like I said. And Ruby right here, it was trying to bounce around, dipping down right there. Let me see, because I was looking at it and I was going to say it opened up and then it went up in the after hours right there. So that's when it finally decided to run, was in the after hours at about 5 o'clock. So you keep an eye on that. There's another penny stock, and it doesn't look too bad in the after hours after it finally started to run up there. And let's see what ARM is doing right here. And I think that one is trying to get set up or had some news or something was happening with ARM. And let's see, I'm not exactly sure what it was. Let me take a look and see right here. Bouncing around. How's that kind of look down there? I'll have to look at ARM tomorrow and see if it wants to get strong. And this GRR right here was bouncing up in the after hours, as a matter of fact. And that one, Gorilla Technology, look at that popping up to the 20. So you guys can keep an eye on that one right there and see if it can actually run through it. It's hitting the MACD. It could just be an after hours pop for GRRR right there. And there you go with what we have on that side of the list. BTGD and these guys obviously coming down some more. And we don't have to take a look. And even JNUG and these guys, so you had gold and Bitcoin both pulling down. You knew BTGD was coming down. Solana was coming down. The rest of them were JNUG coming down right there. NUG was pulling back as well. And NGD, we saw that one, and that one was kind of pulling back as well. And silver right here is also pulling back. So we'll see if they can actually get cruising. And that Playboy right there, what about that? That one popped up. Look at that thing. I mean, holy cow, that was a beautiful call in the in them after hours Discord the other day, right before the earnings. I said that chart was set up and it did run pretty nice. And it looks like something just happened. I don't even know that the Raiders scored. They're trying to kick a field goal, I think. And there you are. So I'll keep you updated on the game. It is the Cowboys and Raiders. And yeah, they just kicked a 35-yard field goal. The Raiders are up 3-0 in the first quarter, 7:55 left. And that is your Monday Night Football update right there. And let's see, Zach, let's look at Rocket this evening. Then I throw it on there. I thought I had it on there. I meant to put it on there for you. My bad. And we'll definitely look at that for sure. And let's see. Oh my God, bull. This thing just keeps on dipping down. I don't know what's got on. I don't know if the earnings are going to be so good. And I mean, you want to talk about 2 times trying to get set up right there and look pretty decent to try to get rolling. And maybe the market's just dragging it down at this point and it wanted to run. That could be a very good possibility. But yeah, that's not looking great now either right there, Mr. Zach. But let's look at your Rocket too, RKT. And that had some pullback and could easily pull back down into this channel area or to the support area, I mean, and to your MACD. So yeah, it's not looking healthy for tomorrow. And we didn't really think it did, that was for sure. And obviously you can see what's going on here. Things are pulling back. Here's that DZZ that Luis Rodriguez had been talking about, this gold double short ETN thing. So keep an eye on that if gold wants to go down. And let's see what's going on with the rest of the list, Michael Anthony, and then we'll take a look and see what's going on with your stuff. What did you say? The one that you put out last week to me. What does that say, Michael Anthony? What were you even trying to say? That's what I want to know. Is that the one that you put out last week to me? I'm not even sure what you tried to write there, Michael Anthony. I'm gonna guess that's what you wrote, but the one. I like that. The one. That sounds like some crazy literature right there. Like you speak Shakespearean or something crazy, Michael Anthony. The one that you put out the last week to me. So interesting, Michael Anthony. I still don't really know what you're talking about right there, but anyway. And gold plummeted, that's for sure. And let's see what else is going on after we had a little Shakespeare conversation with Michael Anthony. The one, guys. And let's see what's happening over here. And let's go through. We'll look at our Jolie's jams, and then I'll look. I know Michael Anthony had popped up a couple more. Have you put Playboy out before? Yeah, Michael Anthony. I had mentioned that one the other day, right before the earnings. I was like, wow, that's stock. That chart looks really set up right there. It looks beautiful. I don't play earnings, but this thing looks good. And about 10 minutes later, the thing went nutty. So I did that in the Discord, Michael Anthony, as a matter of fact. So anyway, I'll go through the messages. Let's just cruise right through, see what else is going on. And you wonder when the NVIDIA report earning if help the markets go up or down. That's what you must have not have been on in the beginning. Clearly, I thought you were though, and that's what we were talking about. Oh, he's asking you about a ticker you gave out last week. Well, I'm glad you understood laptop travel because I thought he was trying to do like a Shakespeare play over there. So which ticker was that? This time it is not about the earnings. I'm not sure. So laptop travel and Michael Anthony are having a conversation. I didn't realize it. So anyway, PYXS is this one. I don't even know what the heck you guys are talking about. I have to go through and look. Anyway, I'll go through that in a minute. Let's go through the rest of this list and I'll go through your comments and see what's going on. Let's see. Rhythm pulling back a little bit more right there. Still in the basement. Like I said, just kind of pulling back your blink, just hanging out there on the support line. Actually didn't look too bad today in the market, and Sezzle's been pulling back. And our Sterling right here is kind of just bouncing around, but didn't look great. Looks like it has a good support line, but could be pulling back as well. And what about your Rivian pulling back as well now? And Symbiotic still pulling back there. So I would say not looking beautiful for the Jolie's jams at the moment. Not saying that they're not good ones. It's just that they're pulling back there. And is that some Renaissance spit there? Isn't that funny? That was he that the one. I was like, what is he trying to say? I mean, Laptop Travel understood it, but Laptop Travel was also speaking Chinese the other day on our Discord, and I didn't know what he was talking about. And if you missed that on Friday, I'm telling you guys, we had the funniest show on Friday, including Laptop Travel speaking Chinese and us losing. I don't know if we were all down, but maybe we were. I don't even remember at this point, but it was just a comedy show, that's for sure. And then today, I mean, we didn't do so bad. The ONDS wasn't bad or wasn't the best, but all the other calls were just monster, beautiful calls at the beginning. And then the market just dipped down, and then we hit our Q prices. So I can't say that it was bad, to be honest with you. And let's take a look at some Laptop Travel ones. I'm just going to jump around. There's a bunch of them, but there's a lot of good ones on this list. I could go through them all. And it wouldn't be a bad thing. AIRG, Air Gain right here. Communication equipment definitely looking good today. That was up 10%. Not familiar with Air Gain, but looking pretty good. Could continue its way up a little bit right there. And what about Caps right here? I know you'd mentioned this one not long ago, Laptop Travel, and this Caps right here trying to crawl up and trying to get through to it. Has that resistance right there at 115, but not looking too bad right there. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. And this DSWL, we've been talking about Deswell Industries, and it was popping up today. Has the 50 up there, but doesn't look so bad right there. And this egg looks pretty damn good at 420 right here, having its little smoke break on the 20 itself, and looks like it wants to run up there. So you can keep an eye on egg. It is Ignat. I don't even know what the hell that's called. What is that called? Enigmatic something? I don't even know, guys. You know, my reading is not good at all. I'll call it egg. I'll stick with egg. It's way easier. I couldn't even work at the company. I couldn't even say the name of the company if I had to. And anyway, is it the U.S.? Oh, it's in Singapore. That's why. Well, anyway, I wouldn't be working there regardless. But good old egg looking pretty tasty at the moment. I wonder if they're going to do scrambled, fried, or over easy right there as it runs up. But there you go for EGG. And let's take a look. GDHG, this one's looking really good right here. Golden Heaven. I know this is a small cap China one. And that thing looking pretty good. It was running up today, getting onto the 20, and could continue its way up. And MCTR and the other ones are all pretty good setups. A couple of them had already run up today, as a matter of fact. MCTR, and then maybe pull back or so. You can check them out. MCTR, this one looks really good, running up into that 20 area and looking pretty strong right there. So if you're looking for something tomorrow and the market's pulling back and you're not shorting the cues with us, because I'm sure that's what we'll be doing in the beginning of the morning, at least that's what it looks like. Check out some of these guys because they are looking good. Collagen right here. This one was also running up today, sitting on it. I mean, it was hitting the line right there, support, but it could just make it a resistance. It could make it a support line and just keep jumping off of it. That's what it looks like it wants to do. SFWL, this one, a China one, pulling back but hitting the 20. It could try to bounce off right there. And let's look at Sint right here. Syntex, that one was up and not looking bad. Michael Anthony says, stay away from eggs since their volume's only 14,000. That share's not going to do anything. Yeah, I don't really usually look at the volume on all these. Some of these are small ones and don't get volume. But I'll tell you what, Michael Anthony, you'd be surprised. Sometimes with these setups, they get cruising there. It's kind of bizarre, even with like no volume. And you can see over here, well, that got like a 500,000, but you'll see all of a sudden if the setup's there and you get in early, they'll get the volume just like it did in this situation right here, because right there had 43,000, and right there had half a million, over half a million. You get them big pops. So when they get set up, and that's what we look at, Michael Anthony, that's what makes them move, and you get in before they actually move, because these are quick runs and pops right there. UONE. Let's check out Urban One. That was spiking up today. You can see if it wants to continue its way up. And let's see what Xwell is doing right here, because that was spiking up, hitting up on the 50, and see if that can continue. So there you go. And that is your laptop travel list right there. So keep an eye on some of them, and we'll run through and look at more egg right here for Michael Anthony. He said egg is nothing. And so Michael Anthony likes egg. I didn't realize it. I don't even know what the company does, consulting services. And again, it looks pretty good to try to curl up. And I'm not saying it's a long term anything, but none of these ones are. Obviously, they're quick pop ups, and some of these will even pop up at 4 a.m. And we have some people, a lot of people that listen and tune in at 4 a.m. and try to trade in the and do trade in the 4 a.m. hours, and it's pretty wild. So some of these guys really get blasted off, Michael Anthony. You're just not trading at that time, I promise you. But these guys are very volatile. They run up and down like crazy. You'd be surprised what goes on in the market when you're not doing anything in there. So there you go with that. And that is your laptop travel list. Let's take a look and see what's going on with the rest of our list. And then we'll run through these real quick, and we'll see what you guys want to look at. And then we'll go through and see what Zach and Deep Soul Diving and Michael Anthony wants to talk about egg a little bit more. I know he does. And we'll discuss egg for like 5 more minutes, I'm sure, Michael Anthony, just for you, and ABEO and everything else. So we'll get to it all. Here we go. Let's run through. I already had the SPY up, and clearly it's pulling back. Doesn't look great. We already went through basically the SPY and your Qs and all that good stuff. Apple pulling back right there, and it looks like it's going to pull back a little bit more, as a matter of fact. And so does Amazon right there. That looks like it could pull back a little bit more. Google was your bright spot today, and I don't think that one's going to roll through the MACD. That one looks like it's even going to pull back after that Berkshire Hathaway news early. That's what pumped up the market early, and it did pull back there. And Meta is coming down some more, still in the basement, still dipping down there. Microsoft didn't look bad on Friday. It didn't look too bad today, but it's still pulling back right here. You can see possibly trying to set up, but if everything's trying to pull back, I don't think Microsoft's going to move either. And of course, our NVIDIA has earnings coming up on Wednesday right here. Here you go. November 19th. What a big day. And we're going to see what's happening. It looks like it wants to pull back under that 50 tomorrow. So we'll see what NVIDIA is going to do there tomorrow. And then we'll go from there into the earnings. Obviously, we're not playing the earnings, at least I'm not. But we'll see what it looks like going into it for sure. And let's see, it is 3-3 right now in the first quarter with about 4 minutes left. And it looks like the Raiders have the ball on the 40-yard line on Cowboys 40. And they're going down and trying to, oh, that was a nice pass right there. So the Raiders are marching down the field, trying to score a touchdown. And I'll let you know if they do. And let's keep on cruising through our list. And I'll keep you updated on that. And Tesla was up a little bit. It run up, like I said earlier this morning, pretty well up till noon, and then did pull back, but not looking. I mean, it doesn't look bad right there. That's for sure. Not sure it's going to get through this area. It doesn't look too bad. We'll see how it looks. It looks better than most of them right now. We'll put it that way. And that's your Mag 7 AMC pulling back right there. Continuing to GameStop was. Chewy not looking bad right there, right? We were saying that. And Unity right there was bouncing around, not looking bad. Remember we were saying that Chewy was looking good? I guess so, for a reason. What even happened? Did they even have like earnings or anything? I have no idea. Besides that the chart was set up. Any news come out? I have no clue. I don't see any news. And again, thing getting set up, looking pretty decent. And there you go for Chewy running up there. And Netflix right here. Let's see what good old Netflix was dipping down to the support line. And they do have that 1 for 10 split. When is that bad boy? November 17th. That's today, right? Oh, yeah, it's down to $110. There you go. They did the split today. I didn't even notice, to be honest with you. Netflix's 10 for 1 split takes effect after the shares began trading. And I honestly didn't even realize it today, to be completely honest. It was like 1100, and now it's at 110. I don't even think I noticed one bit today, but there you go. They did their 1 for 10, so yeah, it's split. Yup, it sure did a 1 for 10, and it wasn't like a reverse split or anything. It wasn't. It was just to basically bring the price so that they can attract more buyers at that better price, because it was over $1,000 at that point. So there you go with Netflix just pulling back a hair. AVGO right here was up a little bit today, and that is, I mean, not looking so bad, but not looking perfect either. We'll have to look at that along with these other semiconductors, because MU was running up early and then did pull back right there. And honestly, remember I was saying it may stay in that channel, but not sure. It's trying to stay in this channel, but like I said, I'm not convinced it's going to. I think MU could pull back there. TSM still pulling back a little bit as well. And then you have your SMCI pulling back today. AMD was way down as well. And that looks like it's going to be coming down. QCOM pulled back big time. That one had looked good, not anymore. And Snow, we said, was probably coming down. And there's your Snow coming down right there. And what about PayPal? That's not PayPal. That was like PYP something. And there's PayPal dipping down some more. And what about your Intel's pulling back a little bit right there? And what about Dell? Remember we said that we should probably short Dell down? Well, that was down 8% today. We probably should have listened to that. And IBM, another one that was down pretty good. And IBM looks like it's falling down right there. We might be wanting to look at that one tomorrow to be putting that down, because it does look like it's coming down along with the rest of the market. But that one particularly looks good to bring it down. PLTR looks like it's coming down. And Sophie right here, not really holding itself. It's holding itself, but not so sure it's going to. Let's put it that way. And your Mara and Riot, they're just pulling back right now. Look at Riot. It was trying to hold itself up, but it just can't with the market looking like that. Clean Spark at a support line, but that does not mean anything. And Strategy still pulling back. And that it finally, like the resistance line, support line, was finally like, hey, I can't follow you anymore. So you're going to have to go under and do your own thing now. And that's what it's doing for MSTR. And let's look at Hood and Coinbase, because they're both pulling back and look like they're going to continue to pull back right there. And Bull, like I said, doesn't look exactly bullish at the moment right now. And Space even pulling back a little. That one didn't look too bad. Boeing pulling back. That one might need to get set back up again and take a little time. And DJT continuing to pull back. Nike pulling back right there. Lulu right there pulling back big. As a matter of fact, it had not looked bad, but it did pull back. And let's see what McDonald's is doing here. And that thing is even pulling. I mean, everything right here. And there's your Disney. Luis Rodriguez not even pulling back so much. I thought it was going to be down a little bit more. Oxy right there, trying to get back to the 20 and see if it can set up. Like I said, oil and gas and everything was down today. ExxonMobil was definitely down as well. And DXYZ right there still pulling back a little bit. And there you go with our list. And let's see what's going on and what you guys want to look at. So there you go, everybody. And let's go up here and see what's happening, Janica. And let me see. Employment report is Thursday morning, huh, Luis Rodriguez? So we're finally going to see that. And we were talking about that ONDS a little bit ago. And let's look at this SOXS. And wait, what is IMF? I'm not sure. International Monetary Fund. And that's what that is, the Invesco Managed Future Strategy. I'm not even sure, to be honest with you. Laptop travel, what you're talking about right there. Maybe you're talking about this. I'm not even sure. IMF. And anyway, so unless you were talking to somebody, I don't even know what's going on. Bunch of conversations going on. I'm trying to filter through it and figure it out. Soxus right here is your semiconductor bear, and that does look pretty good. Your Soxel is your other one. And it does look like it's pulling back and going down. So you can play it either two ways, but there's your semiconductors. They look like they're pulling back a little bit. OTLK right here. That's Outlook Therapeutics. That one's actually running up right there. Luis Rodriguez for Outlook. And IVVD, you've been all over this thing, and it was running up there, and it does look pretty good. Nice call on that, Luis Rodriguez. You were adamant about that, and there you go. It's running up. And UVXY right here. Oh wait, I'm jumping all over the place. I'm taking Luis Rodriguez's and Laptop Travels list and all kinds of people and just put them all together. But the UVXY right here, that does look real good, as a matter of fact. And I was going to look at your VIX as well over here, so we'll just do it right now. And there you go. It was running up a little healthy pullback, but it doesn't look bad. But your UVXY definitely looking pretty good at the moment. And whenever that looks like that and the 20 wants to go meet the 50, usually it shoots it up a little bit more. So you could have it shooting up tomorrow and then possibly pull back, and then possibly UVXY come back down. And Nvidia's report, like I said, I do think it's hinging on Nvidia on Wednesday, but just coming back down tomorrow. And your SQQ right here is your Ultra Pro short. QQQ 3 times, and look at that thing trying to rip up there a little bit. So you keep an eye on that one as well. And right back to your list here, Luis Rodriguez, because here is Hive. And that one's pulling up, and that one's kind of a crypto one somewhat. And I'm surprised that it's moving up a little bit. Not sure what's going on. It says something up there, but it's got too much going on for me. MCRB Ceres Therapeutic, and look at that thing ripping there. Let's look at this bad boy right now. MCRB, what was that up to besides cruising along? Yeah, that one does look pretty good. So we'll have to keep an eye on that when nothing else is really looking exactly great at the moment. And let's see, RY, were you talking about RY? Hold on, there you go. This is Rhythm Therapeutics right here, and that is trying to curl up Luis Rodriguez. So I do think that's another good one to keep an eye on, as a matter of fact, because it isn't looking bad at the moment, with the rest of them not looking so good. We were talking about the old Qs, and let's see, Laptop Travel saying the prediction says there's now more than a 50% probability for a 10% correction. Wow, there you go right there. And let's see what else is going on. Joseph Levy has some puts for tomorrow, so he's excited for the market to go down. That's for sure. And ABTC, Eric Trump sayer, Tom Lee, Kathy Wood are saying buy the dip. That's their mantra. Yeah, I bet it is right now, but it doesn't look beautiful. That's for sure. Obviously, we'll tell you when it's going to get turned around, but it looks like it's pulling back. Let's say that. And you're tired of Trump's constant chatter about crypto, talks cheap, get your companies in order first. That's true, Luis Rodriguez, because like I said, and that ABTC looks a little crazy right now. So let's see what's going on here. And Deep Soul Diving said he bought the dip, and then the dip became the abyss. It sure did in crypto. That is for sure right now. And let's see, your 20 contracts of 597 puts may pay out tomorrow. Then I would say so, Joseph Levy. There you go. I would say so. And let's see, PSQH, pure money laundering, capital shifts, and wrecked. Absolutely. We talk about it for sure. NVIDIA announced a deal with ARM, and neither of them are moving right now, Luis Rodriguez was saying. So that was the news on ARM. And let's see, wouldn't that be the ultimate turkey? NVIDIA's guidance crashes the market, and retail investors are trapped on Thanksgiving Day. And you can quote me, there is a new meaning to Black Friday. Well, NVIDIA's this week, and Thanksgiving's next week. So it would be interesting for sure. NVIDIA is going to make it very, very interesting for a crazy market to come up for the holiday season. I have a feeling of that. That's what's coming into our play. SPY 646.50s over next couple weeks, which will put us Thanksgiving December 1st. No deep flush, just a controlled, steady selling is what Luis Rodriguez is saying. And he says we're coming back down a little bit more, and I could see it. Yeah, I don't think it's coming all the way down to the 200, to be honest with you, but I do think it is getting pulled back some. So there you go. And let's see what's going on. Michael Anthony, DLO. How many bought DLO under $13 today? And that he bought 4,000 shares right there. Let's see what he did with DLO at 272, and it's at 267. I think that one could pull back a little bit more on you, Michael Anthony. Maybe you could have gotten a better price on D Local Limited. I don't even know what they do. It's a software infrastructure company right there. 5 small caps, not worried about that. but it could pull back a little bit more. We'll keep it on our list right here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to jot it down over here so I can look at it in the morning for you, Michael Anthony. How about that? And let me see what else. ABEO started looking good today. That was up a little. That biotech ETF are leading the markets right now, according to Michael Anthony. And ABEO right here up a little bit, like a percent or so. So it doesn't look bad. I'll give you that, Michael Anthony. That does look pretty good right there for ABEO. Yeah, that one could get running right there. That could actually be a good play for tomorrow. So you keep an eye on that. I'm going to jot it down right here. As a matter of fact, ABEO. I like that look. And let's see. I'll just say, does everyone know where Bitcoin major support will be? That I think by looking at a year price, I know where the bounce will be. That IO. Will you guys figure out what Michael Anthony said? And maybe the answer of Bitcoin's in there. He's been pretty accurate. I think you just got to be able to read hieroglyphics and Michael Anthony glyphics or whatever you want to call it. Because I don't know what the heck he's even talking about, but I bet he's on to something right there. This guy seems to be on the things. We just can't decipher what the heck he's even meaning and talking about half the time. I don't know what's going on most of the time, and then Michael Anthony has to make it even more difficult for me. So it makes for good entertainment. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't know what you're saying there, Michael Anthony. Can you clear that up for us? Do everyone know where Bitcoin major support will be? And that you think by looking at a year price, I know where the bounce will be. That IO. I'm not sure what that means, but I definitely want to know what you're talking about. I'm not going to lie. VIX is at a 22.23, and they have no doubt will take out the October 15th high, some exact pattern as the previous March April correction before we fully bottomed out from Luis Rodriguez, and that REMX was looking good. Crypto Treasury, CDT, and GPUS looking scary. And remember what I was saying, guys. Go back to remember when I was talking about these crypto treasury companies and saying how I didn't understand how they were all taking this biotech money or any of this money and putting it all in the crypto at the highs. Like crypto's at the all-time highs, and you're going in all in. I don't know who was consulting with these people, but it just didn't look like a good idea to me. And you guys know I was saying it, and maybe it will work out. I'm not sure, but again, when these things start dipping down real hard and the market's taking a beat and you got all your cash tied up in crypto and it's taking a beating too, you might be in trouble right there. I'm not going to lie. And GPUS right here. And that's where it goes with if you have a good company with good products, you'll be okay because you generate revenue. But if you just have an okay company, add some money on the side, and you put it all in the crypto and crypto dips down, then what happens? You're screwed. And this is what I was talking about before. And yeah, GPOS, another great example of it right there. So you're absolutely right there, Deep Soul Diving. And some of these companies, I think, will get smacked. And DLO looks like it is headed for 1160 first, Laptop Travel said. I agree. I think that bad boy is coming down. So I said, Michael Anthony, you might want to wait and on your next purchase order on the DLO. I'll let you know when it bottoms out if you want. It was up in the after hours. I don't know. Let me look. I'll tell you right here. 1265, 1267 doesn't look like it was really up in the after hours right there. It looks like it's kind of down. It opened at 1371, so I would say it definitely didn't look like it was up to me, but maybe I'm not seeing something there. But it does look like it wants to come down a little bit more. Just letting you know what I'm seeing right now, Michael Anthony. You know that. I just like to give you an honest look. And like I said, I'll definitely keep an eye on that DLO and let you know when it bottoms out. And maybe we'll jump in with you because obviously you like it that much. And I respect things that you look at, but sometimes they'll pull back a little bit more and we can find the bottom prices or a better opportunity, we'll say right there. So you can always average down, but I do think it might pull back. We'll look at it tomorrow. Maybe you're on to something. It's going to bounce out of nowhere tomorrow and get crazy. You've called some crazy things, Michael Anthony. So I won't doubt you anymore. That's for sure. And Doc's right here pulling back, and that is still descending. I was gonna say, looks like it's going right through the trend line and gonna stay down there. And as is Cracker Barrel, and yeah, their company is not looking good right there. CBRL, they could seriously be in trouble. And restaurant industry is not doing well overall. And then you put a CEO that just messes up with messes the company up, and that is a recipe, literally a recipe in a restaurant for destruction. And that's what you're seeing on that chart right there. That's destruction. And hard to come back from that, that's for sure. And Michael Anthony was asking Laptop Travel, which biotech were you put out last week and think was Friday? And then Laptop Travel said IVVD, Viking, and IOVA. So now we have to look at them guys. We already looked at that IVVD. That was a good one from Luis Rodriguez. And VKTX right there, the good old Viking was pulling back. It was obviously looking good last week. And IOVA right here was kind of just bouncing around right there. Doesn't look too bad, but could have a little bit of pullback. And Lulu, oh my, is right. That one got destroyed. None of those, Michael Anthony. He didn't like any of them three. It started with a P. Oh, that PFSA. We were looking at that last week, that Profusa. And that thing is kind of pulling back. Yeah, it's definitely down a little bit from last week. So there you go on that one. That's a PFSA. And let's see, Cracker Barrel CEO's days are numbered. I would have to hope so, Luis Rodriguez. I mean, holy cow. She put that whole entire company in jeopardy and jeopardized the entire franchise and company and everything right there. What a maniac she is. And it's 10-6. Dallas is up in the second quarter with 13-10 left. And the Raiders have the ball there in your Monday Night Football. And let's see, have you put Playboy out before, Michael Anthony? Oh, yeah, we were talking about that. And then Laptop Travel said PYXS. Was it that one? So you guys were going back and forth talking. I didn't even understand what was going on there. And this one, us oncology company's not looking bad there, Laptop Travel. Keep an eye on that for tomorrow. PYXS looking pretty good right there. And let's see, and it was Playboy last week. Yeah, we were talking about that. That's definitely not a biotech one though. There, Playboy, not biotech, Michael Anthony. I mean, maybe something to do with biotech, maybe. But you might be able to make some kind of crazy formula in that grotto or something back in the day. That could have been some kind of biotech company in there, but I'm not so sure the Playboy is exactly a biotech company. But it does start with a P and has a couple letters after it, like LBY. So there you go for that stock ticker. And yeah, we were looking at that one. And again, like I said, I called that one in the Discord last week, and that was just ridiculous what I said right before the earnings came out, and it just jumped right up there. It was pretty wild. And let's see, Zach, and we did look at Rocket. It was pulling back, right? And it looked like it was going to continue to come down a little bit. Yeah, that's what we were saying. And probably will bounce off your MACD. It's been pretty solid right there for RKT. DZZ, we were looking at that. And then we had our most famous message of them all. He that the one that you put out last week to me. And there you go for Michael Anthony. I thought he was just doing a Shakespeare play right there with Laptop Travel, but apparently Laptop Travel, he understood what he was talking about. And gold did plummet, Joseph Levy. And there you go. So let's see the NVIDIA report earning, if it helps the markets go up or down, Michael Anthony. We were definitely talking about that earlier. And Laptop Travel said this time it is about the earnings and something they were talking about. I'm not exactly sure. All kinds of stuff going on in this chat right here. And it went from cash last week, and you guys are talking about all kinds of crazy stuff. And what were you at? Laptop Travel, he was asking his Chinese colleagues what they thought about the U.S. market. That's pretty funny right there. I know Joseph Levy did. He did translate it pretty well as perfect as you could in the Discord too. That was pretty funny, but yeah, that was great when Laptop Travel all of a sudden in the middle of our show he just started speaking Chinese and asking what they saw and predictions and stuff. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. And Laptop Travel just speaks Chinese like perfectly fluently. It was pretty wild. So it was a lot of fun. and we were doing that. Are you still over there, Laptop Travel? And I was wondering, I actually was wondering, I meant to message you and ask you, how was the property damage at your house? I was thinking about that this weekend. I was sitting there, I thought about, I was like, wait, Laptop Travel's in like Asia, like overseas. And I'm pretty sure he went there because he had property damage. I wonder how the property damage happened and how much there was. And then I never even asked you. So it just came to my mind. So I might as well ask you because, I'll forget and then I won't even ask you about it. So I was just wondering how much property damage you had. I hope it wasn't much over there. And if you're still over there, I think you are. I'm guessing that you are. But anyway, here we go. And let's see. And Michael Anthony said he buys anything that must, if I buy anything, that must have a PE and be all earnings that be all past earnings like DLO did last week. Well, you do have a good system there, Michael Anthony. I would say that. And we were talking about good old egg. Michael Anthony was loving this one. This might be his top pick ever, he said. Egg has only 14,000 in volume, but he is loving it scrambled, maybe even fried and sunny side up. No, I'm just kidding. Michael Anthony does not like egg right there. He said stay away from it. The volume's only 14,000 shares. But like I said, it might spike up to your 50 right there, and that's what we're looking at. But anyway, that was our egg talk right there on our show. And let's see, Laptop Travel, why didn't you buy ABEO? Let me see, what is that one about? ABEO, that one that we were talking about earlier, that biotech company. That doesn't look bad right there, I must say. So keep an eye on that. And the volume must be over 100,000 if you buy it, Michael Anthony. They're pretty good parameters that you set. I like it. And so you do have a game plan at all times, and that's the most important thing probably in the market, to be honest with you. There's many strategies that work, and Michael Anthony's been making it work. So there you go. SNTG right here. That one's not looking bad there. Deep Soul Diving has zero volume, and it started to spike today. That is true. Look at that bad boy, Michael Anthony. Check that. That's what I was saying. You'll see these things run, and it does. It's more the setup than anything, Michael Anthony. So egg will run up to the 50, but again, not a long-term thing or something that you're getting dividends or anything like that. But we look at everything on this show and tell you what's going to be popping, and we do it pretty fast. So there you go with some egg talk and SNTG. Not looking bad there. Deep Soul Diving, and let's see how we feel about it overall for a December Santa rally. Does it seem like the pullback before the big run, or is a Santa Claus falling off the sleigh this year? That's a good question there, Zach, I must say. And honestly, I still think it looks bullish. You go back to your SPY, and that's a bullish channel. I think this is a quick little dip, and then we do have a huge pop. So it could just be a major, amazing opportunity right here, as you can see. And we'll see if our Qs do get crushed down some more tomorrow. And then obviously Wednesday, I think NVIDIA is going to tell us a lot right there, Zach. So that's what it looks like, and more or less tell us how quick the pullback's going to be, or if it's going to be a little more go into the into after Thanksgiving and into December before it really gets popping back up. So I do think NVIDIA is going to have a lot to play with that one. Dell, you're wondering what Kramer thinks about them now, huh? It wasn't Dell better than SMCI there. Not that SMCI's popped up, but Dell's been coming down pretty hard too. Look at that thing, down 8%. I mean, they all are. Let's face it, the whole market is. So there you go. I have to agree. PAL Lightning Round, buying PAL Industries is a great call, says Jim Kramer. Oh my goodness, Luis Rodriguez, that's one that you actually like. I guess you can't like PAL anymore. And let's see, that thing looks like it's coming down some more going into earnings tomorrow, it looks like. And yeah, I wouldn't be touching PAL, that's for sure. And let's see, it's split. Michael Anthony said we were talking about Netflix and wonder why PACS pop. I'm not sure what PASC is. What is it? PAX Group. It's a medical care facility. You're right. It did pop. And it doesn't have any news according to right here. Oh, wait. PAX Group announcement to release Q3 earnings and clear SEC filing backlog ignites 52% intraday surge. That's what happened there, Michael Anthony. See that? They're going to clear an SEC filing backlog. And so it went up 52%. Don't ask me why. I have no idea. It doesn't make sense to me, but apparently everybody in the PAX world loved that they were going to clear this SEC filing up, and so it went nuts and had 11 million in volume. I have no idea, Michael Anthony. That's the most bizarre thing, and I'm not familiar with it, don't know it, but yeah, it's kind of crazy. It jumped up like that, 50% right there. But they are doing something, so that was the news right there for you. And WGRX, the Deep Soul Diving. Let's see where you're at with this one. Down 6, just kind of floating along. Let's get a better look at WGRX over here. Yeah, it's trying to bounce off that MACD. I'd have to look at WGRX, and I will write it right under DLO right here and WGRX to look at tomorrow morning. And with ETF making highs in biotech, that ABEO wanting to go higher. And the after hour runners right here from Luis Rodriguez. Let's see what they're going to be. Let me see. RYET. RYET. And that one is popping up right there. You're right, hitting the 20, not looking bad. And NOTV, right? NOTV. And that one is kind of dipping there. Is it popping up? I'm not sure. It's at 94 cents in the close. Not sure where that one is. But ASBP right here. These are after hour gainers. That one actually looks good right there. That ASBP. So you can keep an eye on that one right there. And let's see. Anyone know what's happening with GameStop? I have no idea. I just know that that chart's pulling back. That's for sure at the moment. It's still 10-6, second quarter, 9 minutes left. Cowboys have the ball, and they're on the Raiders 40 right now in the second quarter. And yeah, that thing's just pulling back with the rest of the market, as a matter of fact. Deep Soul Diving. And let's see. Vanny report earnings, but reason shares are up because CEO bought. So that is is that Vanguard? Oh no, that's a medical company. Vivani. I don't even know what the heck this company is, Michael Anthony, but apparently the CEO is buying a bunch of shares up. Not sure what's going on there. And honestly, it doesn't look like a bad setup right there. It might not curl through right now, but it doesn't look too bad. And you're saying DLO should be up tomorrow, so we'll see about that. I have it on the list for first thing in the morning, Michael Anthony. So we'll be looking at it tomorrow in the morning. And play is at Dave and Buster's. This thing actually looking pretty good. You're right about that. Looking pretty decent for Dave and Buster's. That's PLAY. And let's see what REGN is doing. This one likes to blast off a lot and pop up pretty quick. And look at that, just like I was saying, it's been running up there in the top and could keep that momentum there for tomorrow. So keep an eye on REGN. Michael Anthony's name even has coded letters in it. I know. I noticed that K5R. I think he's a Russian spy all of a sudden, Deep Soul Diving. I'm not exactly sure where they came from, but he did change it to Michael Anthony K5R. Now he's an official spy, and that's his badge information, I think. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure what's going on with the K5R. With Michael Anthony. What does that mean, Michael Anthony? Did you put that there? For some reason, I just think that showed up, and Michael Anthony doesn't even know it's there. Maybe I'm completely nuts, but I don't know. He didn't have it there before, and then one day all of a sudden it's a K5R, and it's been there ever since. Does Michael Anthony? Do you even realize that says that next to your name, Michael Anthony? It says K5R, and if you do, does it mean something? We have to notice now. And great question, Deep Soul Diving right there. And Michael Anthony K5R, it was asking if anyone know if any major support will be to pop like a 90,000 by looking from today to a year back. That 90,000 should be major support, something like that. I think he's talking about crypto right there, and 90,000 being a support line from, I guess, about a year ago. I think that's what he's trying to say, if I bring it correctly. And last year, yeah, you were right there, Michael Anthony. Look at that. How about that? And so yeah, you're right at 90,000 last year. Good observation. And let's see, QS Joseph. Let's see what's going on right here. And this is QuantumScape, of course, and it had been pulling back. it still looks like it could pull back. I know it's trying to hold itself up on Friday, like the rest of the market, and here we come with that dip. So I do think it's coming down. And again, the Qs did the same thing on Friday, and then all of a sudden they came down today some, and it looks like they're coming down some more tomorrow, is what it looks like. So you could have a little more pullback on that quantum scape there, Joseph D. And let me see, CDT has a dodgy new CEO. You predict it's in its last days. Yeah, and like I said, some of these crypto companies are like the ones that ran in and jumped into crypto. I was in the top, and I don't know what the hell they were thinking. You guys know I was saying it back then, and I think it will wipe a few of them out. And that's why I was saying I don't think all the companies will last that did it. Some will be fine. And this is where I talked about the products and having actually a real company, and they can survive because again, you have sales coming in and your company's fine, and now you have a little bit of money tied up in crypto and it dipped down, not the end of the world. It'll pop back up and you'll be fine. But if that's your money and you know sales coming in and things that and you can't do marketing, R&D, and other things to make the company grow, and now you got crypto dipping on you, you're in shitload of trouble. You're beat. You're screwed, and your investment just went south, and now you're shit out of luck. And then you basically gambled all the company's money on crypto, which is not a good gamble right there. That's why you take any extra money and you think it's an investment, you do that, but you don't take the company's like R&D money and all this and then make it all the investment. It's not a good idea. And companies were doing that, guys. I mean, look at all the money they were raising, money, getting crazy, diluting their shares and their stocks because they thought this thing was going to run immediately and get crazy. Why it was at the top in October, and then you see it pull back. So that's the case, and then we'll obviously look to see what it wants to do going into the future there, Michael Anthony. And 2 typhoons in 8 days. So there you go. What are you talking about? I'm not it's a project. I'm not sure. But oh, you had 2 typhoons in 8 days. Holy shit. That's really what happened over there, laptop travel. I forgot. I'd mentioned the fact that he was over there for property damage. Oh well, I guess that is going to be a big project then, huh? That sucks, laptop travel. Sorry to hear that. 2 typhoons in 8 days. That's like a lot of craziness going on. Anyway, ICP right here. Isn't that going to be a new one that's going to be taken off soon? When's the ICP going to happen here? I forget. Didn't somebody talk about this? And we talked about the IC Insane Clown Posse. When's that happening, guys? I forgot all about that there, Sam. I'm gonna call you Sam. Sammy or something. Pod something. I don't even know. But anyway, I'm just gonna call you Sam if you don't mind. It might be a lot easier. Or Sam or something like that. ICP. When is that thing happening there? Um I forgot we actually looked at that or talked about that last week. Totally forgot about ICP. But yeah, when's that IPO coming out, guys? We need to know when Two Tone, Shaggy, and what the Violent J is it? And God damn, I should have wrote them down and put them like right there. I knew we were gonna talk about this again. Shaggy Two Dope, maybe. I forget, guys, but ICP guys, I don't want to get their names wrong. They have the Juggalos, and the Juggalos are crazy. But anyway, ICP, the IPO, is coming out sometime soon. I don't know exactly when. I forget. Michael Anthony, like Clover, and Clover Health is kind of pulling back right there. Huh. Let's see. Oh no, Michael Anthony. You leading us down the wrong road right here with Clover. Oh no, we're getting led down the wrong road with with TrendSpider. It doesn't want to work anyway. It just said that Michael Anthony's choices do not get inputted in here. No longer. It will not take it. And let's see. I'm gonna have to launch this thing again and hop back in. Let's see what Clover looks like. CLOV. And there you go. Yeah, Clover not looking the. I mean, it looks like it wants to bottom out, but then it looks like it wants to dip down more right there into the basement. I would say there. Doge Mama 9. How are you this evening? And let's see what NOTV is. Wow, at 91 cents. Well, that one jumped up there, that's for sure. What the heck did this do? NOTV preliminary Q4 and then guiding Q4 revenue to something. And then this revenue full results doing, I don't even know, but it's a lot all kinds of numbers right there, and it's jumped up. Let's just put it that way. I don't know what the company is, not familiar with it, but it does look like it was bouncing around and popping up there in the after hours for NOTV, Innovative Inc. or something like that. That one popped up. GameStash, I just said. GameStop had a huge cash. I'm telling you guys, I can't read, and I'm telling I was just like game and cash and just put them both together. I'm telling you, I can't look at words. It's nuts. You see why I can't read? I literally looked at game and the word cash. There's three other words in between right there. I don't even know what goes on. I can't explain it to you, but just giving you a little insight why I take a little while to read sometimes, because I have to like really focus and try to pay attention. If not, it'll be like game stash, and I'm looking at game and the fourth word three words later. It's nuts. I'm telling you, it's crazy. Don't get hit in the head because you can't read after that. At least I can't. GameStop, and it doesn't say game, but I was just trying to say the word and I couldn't even do it. Anyway, GameStop had a huge cash reserve from offerings, you thought, and they would become a crypto treasury. So their fate's tied to Bitcoin's price. So there you go. That's what's happening to GameStop. Thank you, Laptop Travel, for clearing that up, as a matter of fact. And yeah, that's what's happened to a lot of these companies, I bet. They get into the crypto world, and then crypto doesn't go exactly the way you want to. And the next thing you know, it's pulling back and you're in trouble right there. So Twin Hospitality, TWNP, and let's see, that one's been bouncing around right there. You can just keep an eye on that. You gave this in the small cap show a couple weeks ago, and you still like that one. It is bouncing around right. Look at them bounce arounds. 346 to 390 right there today. So that did have a lot of jumping around to do. And let's see, Michael Anthony responds, I could tell you, but then I would have to eliminate you, comrade. That's pretty funny. And QUBT, you did like this one. Wasn't this one trying to cruise up today a little bit? Yeah, this one was like the only one trying to run up, that quantum computing one, but not sure it's going up much more. That GRR we were talking about, it is up $2 in the after hours. I'd mentioned that one. And how about Click right here? CLIK. Oh, yeah, that one's way up there. That one could be a good one. I don't know what the heck they did. Announces an all stock acquisition of 100% of Bowser Human Resources and Top Team Consultants or something. I don't even know what the heck you're talking about. I guess they just bought two companies. I don't even know. Something. They did something there at Click, and that one could have a little momentum there in the morning, so you can watch CLIK. Bitcoin just touched 90 a couple minutes ago, according to Luis Rodriguez, and I definitely believe him because it is dipping down there. So there you go, 90,800. Yeah, it's dipping. Yeah, the stock cube says 90,756. As a matter of fact, there, Luis Rodriguez. So there you go. It definitely did. And so there we are. That's what the market looks like. IONQ was up. We did discuss that one a little bit ago when we were going through. And yeah, it doesn't look too bad. IONZ is the opposite of it. And looks like it was, although IONZ could be getting set back up, that IONQ could have been just up today a little bit and then getting popped down. It doesn't look like it's going to curl through the MACD. Let's put it that way there, Michael Anthony. And it's 17-6 right now. Dallas is up over the Raiders. There's 3:59 left in the second quarter. And that is what your Monday Night Football update is right there. So we can get cruising along, almost finished up right here. And you guys can go enjoy the second half of the game. So, yeah, that's what the market looks like. A little bit red. We had called that. That's for sure. It did bounce up early, but then it did pull back for us. We'll see how it opens up tomorrow. You know, we'll be on at 7 a.m. for our pre-market show. Let me see if we missed anything. We did look at all that stuff. And our news, I think I got everything, to be honest with you. I don't know if there's anything really trending that we actually missed, to be completely honest. I think we probably covered everything. And let me see. Michael Anthony said that it would hit 90 or would hit and that 89 could be the support. So there you go, Michael Anthony. You've been pretty dead on. And let me see what else. Archer was down, that GRR, DJT down, BMNR down, Hood, Click up, Uber was down as well. So there you go. Uber, I think, was up actually today, but it looks like it's pulled back there in the after hours, as a matter of fact. And Uber was up today. I did see it, but it did look like it pulled back a little bit. And there you go. Licho something says Bitcoin 88K right there. So there you go. I'd say so too. And Licho something used to be always on. Oh, there's a nice pick right there for the Cowboys. Just came right out of the Raiders' hands and right into the Cowboys. So there you go. Licho something. How are you this evening? And you used to always listen. I'm sure you listen now with Luis Rodriguez. You got him into the show, as a matter of fact. So very cool right there. And there you go, everybody. So that's what the market looks like, a little bit red. If you guys held on to them cues all long enough and took the panic for the day and said, holy cow, we're gonna stick it out, you won, because it definitely came down all the way down there right before the end of the day. It was a beauty. So there you go, Joseph Levy. He's going in with puts for tomorrow. And that's what we're looking at. We'll be on at 7 a.m. like I had mentioned. We do that show every Monday through Friday. And then we do this show every Sunday through Thursday at 8 p.m. And all information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only, not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. And like I said, if you ever have any questions too, be sure to feel free to hit me up on X. And we do the Discord as well. Ben was hanging out there earlier as he was cruising home, and I'm just looking to make sure we didn't miss anybody's comments or anything else. Janica was hanging out, and Joseph Levy, and of course Laptop Travel was on there, and obviously Deep Soul Diving, our buddy Michael Anthony, Luis Rodriguez, Zach was hanging out, Robin's always hanging out, and Doge Mama 9, of course, is always hanging out. So greatly appreciate all of you guys that hang out. Joseph D also always comes on in the evening and asks a few questions. So yeah, those of you that chime in, greatly appreciate it, that's for sure. And even those of you that never chime in, I greatly appreciate you as always tuning in and hanging out, watching the replays, and just checking out the show. I hope you always enjoy it. And I don't even know that name right there. That's a crazy name. So I'm just going to give you my thoughts on CMEN, because if anyone wants to give that name a try, good luck. I don't even know what that says right there, and I wouldn't even begin to pronounce it. So I'm just thinking that you wrote a bunch of letters down, and I don't even know what CMEN even is right there. So I have no idea. It doesn't look like anything to me. And let me see, Seamen. I don't know. That's okay, dude. I just got that one right there. Good one though. I like it. That's pretty funny. I'll give you that. That was definitely a funny one. And obviously, I was gonna say it's got to be a spam bot of some sort, but let's see what it is. And there you go. So that's pretty comical right there. I like it. I obviously have a good sense of humor, so there you go. I can laugh at that funny stuff. And there you go. And Michael Anthony needs to look at the earnings on those reports to get a good idea of which ones to look at. We're never looking at the earnings reports, Michael Anthony. I tell you, I mentioned Data Vault today, as a matter of fact, in the small cap show, and there wasn't much to mention over there. But this one is looking pretty good. Do they have earnings right there? I'm not even sure. November 17th, they look like they came out or did something today. And it does have some volume, 73 million right there. So you are humorous. I try to be humorous there. So there you go. And Data Vault right there, like I said, looking pretty good and setting up. I would say it is getting crawled up there and looking good to run. Let's take a better look at it. Like I said, I gave it out today on the small cap show. It was the only one I had mentioned. And we did kind of run through quick show there. Had an interview with the hookah guy. And that was pretty fun, as a matter of fact. And yeah, they have Snoop Dogg as one of their new, well, I guess doing ads for, like a partnership with him, not doing ads. He has his own like line or whatever with this hookah company. And I was just curious what they would ever do cannabis with it. But obviously, I guess the regulations, they're not into all that stuff. They do well enough with hookah. So I guess it's not something that they would actually jump into. But There you go. I just think with cannabis becoming more legalized in more states, recreational, and them opening up lounges as well. Hookahs already have lounges. It's a smoking facility for the most part, so you would just think that they might actually try to venture into it because it might not be any more overhead. Maybe it will with the regulations and things of that nature. But anyway, there you go. And Michael Anthony K5R right there. He just heard what about Snoop Dogg? He is he's part of, we were talking to a hookah company today. I forget the name of the actual company. It's like Air something, I want to say. And I forget the exact name. It's Air something. And it's, you can go to, I think I forget what the website is. But anyway, Snoop Dogg has his own brand of like hookah whatever stuff with it. Here, I'll Google it for you. Watch, it'll come right up because I've already Googled it before. Ready, Snoop Dog hookah. That's what I looked up, and it comes right up here, hookah.com. And yes, for 21 or older. So here you go. Here it is. This is what I was talking about there, Michael Anthony. This was the company we were talking about and talking to, as a matter of fact. And yeah, this is what they have. This is what you put in your hookah. It's called shisha or something. Shisha. I don't know how to even pronounce it, to be completely honest with you. But that is what they put in the hookah, and it is like a complicated thing. And this company has this brand new thing out. This is like the Snoop Dogg one, but this company has a brand new product out, and it's like hold on, let me see. I don't see. Oh, here it is. No, that's not it. I forget where it's at. I'm not exactly sure, but it's like this new vaporized product or something. And they were talking about that. I just don't see it on here. Anyway, that's what I was talking about, Snoop Dogg. So you're watching a Snoop Dogg movie right now. How crazy is that? Does that trade on the open market? As a matter of fact, Michael Anthony, hold on, let me grab the info. It's right here. Let me see. I'll give you the info right here. Stewart's who we were talking to, and it's going to be a SPAC coming out soon, and I think it's going to be AIIR when it comes out. It's obviously not there, but it's this one, right? Not that one. Sorry, CAEP, Cantor Equity Partner. So I think this is like the company that actually is like part of it or something like that. So this one and I guess somebody else or make this is a shell company, so they're gonna obviously make something and make it air. So yeah, that's gonna happen. I forget exactly the timeline there, Michael Anthony. So that is what happened today, and that was on the small cap show. And we talked to Stewart today. We had Bennett interviewed him the other day, but then they had him on there so we could all talk to him and obviously put it out to a bigger market as well and more audience and different audience is what I was trying to say. So there you go, everybody. I would say that's a good market review for us this evening. And this ATGL jumping up right there, and AIMX that was running up. It looks like it pulled back there. SGB, that was that Safe and Green Holdings. I meant to mention that one, Laptop Travel. Look at that thing. You were just talking about that last week, and that thing actually looks pretty good. So not bad right there. ONDS collapsing in the last minutes of the after hours trading. Was it really, too? God damn. We didn't want to see that happen anymore. Oh, God, yeah, it was. I mean, it was down a little bit more earlier. I know that because I was watching this thing, and it did dip down at 2 p.m., but it is dipping down a little bit more there, not looking beautiful in the after hours, like you're saying, Laptop Travel, and that's not a pretty look right there. And like we were talking about, the spies, the Qs, and everybody probably going to be going down tomorrow. Even your IWM does not look good at all right there. So that's what the market looks like, guys. And we will be on at 7 a.m. to make sure we review it and see what's happening. It's 17-6. Cowboys are up over the Raiders. There's a minute 20 left in the second quarter, so you guys can go enjoy the rest of the game. We looked at crypto, and it doesn't look pretty either right there. So that's what's happening in that world. Market don't look good either right now. So it looks like we're pulling back a little bit, guys, and we'll be riding it down a little bit. So that's what's happening That's what's happening, guys. And I would say a pretty solid market review, just seeing if there are any other things that I missed over there. And let me just check over here and see. Um, if I missed anything over on X as well, but it looks like we got everything. That fear and greed index right there, it looks like April all over, doesn't it, Luis Rodriguez? I agree. I just reposted that one out there. So I have to agree with you. It doesn't look exactly beautiful. Let's put it that way. But obviously, we'll have a nice opportunity on the way up. Dubai hookah maker Air to go public in U.S. via 1.75 billion SPAC deal right there. Dubai's Air, the owner of hookah brand Al Falker, I think it said on Friday, it had agreed to go public in the U.S. through a merger with blank check firm Cantor Equity Partners. So yeah, there you go. And SGBX was one of your picks there, Laptop Travel. I do know that, and it is cruising along. So there you go, Michael Anthony. I don't know what Snoop Dogg movie you're watching right now, but interesting. I mentioned Snoop Dogg and his ears perked up there. So look at Michael Anthony chilling out, watching the show, watching Snoop Dogg movies, listening to Snoop Dogg's Gin and Juice, hanging out tonight, smoking a blunt, having a blast. So there you go. And you said, haha, heard Dubai as a Dubai. That's too funny. Deep soul diving. That's hilarious right there. And would I recommend that SQQQ right there? It's the leverage 3 times the short pro short. I mean, it does look pretty good, Janica, right there. I can't say that it doesn't look good going up for tomorrow. Let's put it that way. I'll probably play the Qs going down, but you can definitely play that going up. They'll be able to go the exact same way, I would assume, instead of the Q puts. And yeah, I mean, you certainly can. Sometimes it doesn't run as much. I'm not exactly sure. It's in that channel, but I guess if it gets through that 50 and it really pushes up there and the Qs come ripping down, I guess that it will get moving up. But a lot of times the Qs just kind of move a little bit more. And I'll just show you what I mean right here. Although I guess that was up. The SQQ was up like 2.7% today. So depending on where they open up, but yeah, it's definitely an opportunity right there, Janica. That's for sure. ONDS has postponed their shareholders meeting. That's never a good look right there. Laptop travel, that's for sure. So, wow, that'll make it dip. It'll probably dip some more in the morning, obviously, unfortunately. And that is not good for ONDS. So, not good to hear that right there. And yeah, SQQ Janikin, not SQQQ, 3Qs right there. Not a bad one. And obviously, it shorts the QQQs just in a different way. You don't have to have puts. You can just buy this one and take it up. So, pretty much the exact same right there. So yeah, we'll go over it and we'll look at this in the morning as well when we check out our Qs and our IWN and our SPY and everybody else. So just remind me and I'll take a look at that in the morning for you and we'll see what it actually looks like there. But there you go, everybody. That is a pretty decent time, a fun time anyway, and a good market review. So thank you everybody for tuning in, even the person with the funny comment there at the end, because that was definitely pretty comical there. So try to have some good humor, and that was pretty funny. And so there you go, everyone. Enjoy your evening. Enjoy the rest of the game. I'm not exactly sure what the score is. I think it was like 23 to something. It just went off. So I'm not exactly sure, but the Cowboys and the Raiders are playing. Let me see where it's at real quick, and I'll tell you. And then we'll wrap it up. You guys can enjoy the second half. It's 24-6 right there, and there's only like a minute left in the second quarter of the first half. So that is what's going on in your Monday Night Football game. And again, I should be talking to Maya from FGNX tomorrow, right around 4:30 there. So I'll keep you guys posted and let you know about that. And obviously, we're gonna ask and see how they feel about Ethereum pulling back and all that good stuff. So I'll keep you guys updated on that one. And that would be great if you can tune in for that as well. So there you go, everybody. We'll be back at 7 a.m. to go through the market, let you know what it looks like, obviously, in the morning. And then we'll be on in the Discord to see what's happening and do some trading. And then we'll be on in the afternoon some more. And then I'll do the interview there with FGNX and Maya. So busy day as usual, but it is always fun. And we'll now the market and tell you exactly what's going on and how about them cues right there for everybody that enjoyed that. So, Janica will definitely look at the SQQQ in the morning for you. So, thank you everybody for tuning in. Be sure to follow along on X, Instagram, YouTube, all that good stuff, and like the show on the way out of here. And then obviously be sure to tune in at 7 a.m. tomorrow. And wasn't that of all trading under $1? And then didn't someone or the company invest in the company that rally? Yeah, it was under there, and then it did jump up pretty big. As a matter of fact, we were following it because a buddy of mine, Daniel Javier Fitz, had called this thing like down here right before the thing had run, and then they did actually get compliance, and now it is over $1, and it is looking pretty good right there, Michael Anthony, I must say. So yeah, it was trading right under there, right around 30 cents. Yep, and I do remember, and there you go. It was started ripping up. I think he had mentioned it right in the 40s. As a matter of fact, it was like right in here, and then it started popping. So yeah, we were following good old Data Vault right there and watched it run up. And there you go, everybody. So I'll see you guys in the morning at 7 a.m. You enjoy the rest of your evening. And Michael Anthony, enjoy your Snoop Dogg movie right there. And we'll see you there. So yeah, definitely has some strong volume. It's looking good for DVLT. And it's one to keep an eye on for tomorrow, along with putting down the Qs or even taking the SQQQ and taking that for a ride up there with Janica. So we'll look at it all in the morning, see what it definitely looks like, and then we'll go to town in the Discord and do some trading accordingly. So and find the opportunities. So thanks again for tuning in. Bitcoin's at 91,087 right now. It's pulling back right there. And Hive did go up on the earnings. That's kind of crypto related. I was actually surprised, Michael Anthony. So there you go. Tune in tomorrow morning at 7. We'll catch everything that's going on there, let you know what's happening, and we'll go from there, everybody. So yeah, even though the market's red, I mean, we still don't even mind. It never matters, right, Joseph Levy? You just stick to your guns and then ride that bad boy whichever way it wants to go, and we take it to that spot. So there you go, everybody. Catch you guys in the morning. Enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy the Monday night game if you're checking it out there. And I'll see you at 7. So have a good night and see you guys in the morning.